Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome back to Forager. For today, there's a lot of things I'd like to do. We haven't built the Spirit Forge yet, but I would like to get the Skull Amulet, and both of them require a good bit of steel. So let's go ahead and be crafting up whatever steel we can make. So, one side effect of me doing a YouTube series in this game is that I've been doing a little bit more reading and research into game mechanics that I didn't completely know about before. And one thing I learned recently while reading some stuff on the Forager wiki, because there is a bit about this game that's not particularly discoverable, or not particularly well explained by the game and like tooltips or anything. That skeleton just hit me and I almost died. Wow. Let's not die. That seems like a good option. One thing that I just learned is that lighthouses, which are a structure I've not yet unlocked because in the past I haven't thought that they've been all that valuable, have an interesting stacking property. And so the next time we get a level up, we are going to unlock lighthouses, because they're pretty amazing, it turns out. But I only need a little bit more steel in order to start crafting the steel amulet. Or sorry, the steel amulet. The skull amulet. And we know where we can get some materials for it. I guess if we kill the Watchers, actually just like, that naturally spawn out in the desert, maybe they give us steel. But the ones inside the dungeon only give us the other resources. The gold and the iron bars, it seems. I was trying to decide if there's a better way to obtain my steel. Hello, skeleton. Good job dodging me. Totally planned it. Okay, but let's go ahead and get some other things crafting. Remind me, slime gloves are used for attack speed increased by 10%. Yeah, I really don't think that's a priority yet. So I'm going to continue to prioritize other things for the moment. But eventually it will be useful to have those slime gloves. Okay, in any case, let's get as much steel as possible cooking up. We're just about to finish the iron here in this forge. And yes, then that'll be enough that we can go ahead and get the skull amulet. And after that, I think the goal for today will be to get the experience to level up so that we can unlock the lighthouses and try to take advantage of the crazy properties that I've recently learned that they have. So I guess I can go ahead and talk about it. There are two structures that you can unlock with skill points to be able to build that affect other nearby structures. Lighthouses cause you to gain more resources near them, and they have kind of an area of effect. And power plants cause your various crafting things like the inscription table or the forge or the anvil, to work more quickly when they're near a power plant. And what I did not realize about these structures is that they actually stack, which is to say, if you were to build two structures next to a furnace, both power plants would enable the furnace to grow and move even faster and faster. I'm going to buy a bomb just to demonstrate how a bomb works, because we haven't used one yet. And given that I have the Thunder Rod, they're not particularly amazingly useful or necessary. But suppose I had a cluster of resources somewhere that I wanted to destroy quickly, and unfortunately there isn't a cluster of resources nearby. Here's one. If I take a bomb and use it, kablam! It kind of like kills everything in a radius and blows up, you know, rocks and trees and friendly animals and foes. And so that's what bombs are good for. We can craft them at the... Oops! I accidentally just used a fairy. We can craft them at the cauldron, I believe. But given how efficient I am with Thunder Rod for killing bad guys and chopping up trees and whatnot, I don't really need to do that. Okay, we should have our resources for the skull amulet. So let's grab our steel and craft that guy up. Mouse cursor, where are you at? There you are. Skull amulet is made at this crafting station. So we'll get it going. Alright, and then with that done, in terms of crafting, glacial scriptures require 15 royal clothing and 15 lavender. I think I'll go ahead and pin this recipe because it is something we'll want to work on in the long term. Those things are going to come. There's some lavender from the ice biome up here. So we definitely will want to start earning some more money in these parts so that we can buy some more icy places where we can start getting lavender. And the royal clothing is made from gemstones and leather and possibly royal steel or something. What actually is the recipe for royal clothing? Let's go check it out together. I want to make royal clothing. Just leather and thread and stuff. So I can actually go ahead and start crafting some of that up, because we are going to need it. So we'll get it going. So let's see. In order to level up more quickly, I would need more experience, and there actually is a way that I could potentially do that as well. Sage scrolls can be made from green pigments and some other resources that I have, and they give you a experience boost. And so basically it's a way to spend some consumable crafting resources in order to get some more experience quickly. So we'll go ahead and work on crafting up some sage scrolls. And just while I'm waiting for the cactus, I'm going to take a moment to deal with some of my fishing traps. Skull amulet, 75% more resources. And the next amulet on the list would be crystal, which requires a frozen relic. I think that is a rare item you can get from digging in the ice biome. It's sufficiently rare that I don't think we have to worry about trying to get it anytime soon. We'll just have to look into it a little bit later on. That said, if I could improve my shovel, what does it take to improve the shovel? Bottled water. Bottled water is easy. I have a bottle. I can go to some water. Boom, bottled water. Let's go ahead and make a water shovel. It can dig 4 squares at once, which is pretty amazing. So we'll see that in action shortly. And yeah, there's a number of shovel upgrades, and the final ones are actually quite good. But like all of the other upgrades, it's progressive, so you just kind of have to go through each stage of getting the next shovel or getting the next sword in order to get all those things. Alright. But we're killing skeletons, we're breaking things down, all this is giving me little bits of experience. But let's go get a bigger bit of experience by getting a sage scroll. It's not quite ready yet. It's time for me to renew my foraging obelisk. And I believe I just heard the noise that the market has restocked. So let's go check on the market. And none of this is stuff that we need. That's fine. And I bet you I have enough money stored away in my banks here that I can buy a new piece of land. So let's use our sage scroll. So currently I have 2050 experience at this level. And that just gave me, wow, like 2,000 experience. So that was really good. I'm going to craft more cactus fruit and see if I can make some more sage scrolls. This guy is trying to kill a cow. Bad skeleton up there in the upper left. And there's another one attacking somewhere. Is he attacking the market right here? He was. Alright, but he's been killed as well. If I want to buy land, it costs 2,600 or 2,900 to buy the next land up here. So let's go cash out some more money out of the bank so that we can go ahead and buy some of those lands. There's a chicken here who is making it difficult to interact with the bank. And yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and take all the monies. And can I make another sage scroll? I can, great. So that'll get us closer to our experience level up. And let's buy this land. This time, this guy's an NPC as opposed to a bad guy. Let's go talk to him. Are you a soldier? Challenge me and my brothers to a fight. If you win, I will give you rare treasure. Bring me 10 bones when you're ready. I appreciate the fact you'll easily already have 10 bones by the time you get here, and this is just to make sure that you're ready for the battle. Guess what? I'm ready. So it begins. Prepare to be destroyed. These guys are actually tough, but once again, I have the Thunder Rod, and so I can attack from a great distance, and then cheese it by occasionally backing off and eating food. But they do shoot ice bolts that can freeze me in place, which makes them extremely dangerous. Alright, but I've won the ice challenge, hooray! By defeating those guys, and guess what? I need a key. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. Eventually there is a skeleton key, which is one of the nice rare boons we can get. That will enable us to no longer have to craft a key each time we find a new chest like that. Here's my water shovel, by the way. We will check it out momentarily. Let's go ahead and get that crafting. And while we're standing near crafting stations, we'll also craft up some other materials. And let's go ahead and use our Sage Scroll. Getting very close to the next level up. But yeah, if I were a place to dig, if you check out the water shovel, it digs a 2x2 area. So it digs up all those spots at once. I think it does still take the same amount of stamina from the player, which is to say, if you are digging a lot, you end up going through your energy very quickly with shovels that dig a bigger area, because it's kind of like just speeding up the action, but still taking 4 times the stamina to dig 4 times as many spots. But with the water shovel, we can possibly dig up some good rare loot, so I'll definitely go for it. And let's see, I think one more Sage Scroll would probably get me the level up. So let's see if I have the materials to go craft one more of those guys. I don't remember what the other resources were. I'm sure one is a green pigment. And then I feel like there was one other thing I just said that I needed to do. The key, of course! We have to bring the key back up here. Let's go ahead and make a bridge this way as well. I like having my lands being easy to traverse. Oh, it's a spirit orb. We could go ahead and level up right now, and I think that actually is worth it. Spirit orbs are still good for level ups. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. XP increase. We are going to use the skill on Optics. Unlocks lighthouses. Doubles light radius in the dark. Oh, so this means we'll be able to see better in the dark as well, just like we got the magic lantern. So the lighthouses apparently are super duper amazing. Unlike most structures, lighthouses are built on the water rather than on land. And so if we want to stack the ability of lighthouses over an area, we need to find somewhere where there's a good bit of water. And so there is one place on one of like the Skull Islands that has tons of water around it, but I just want to kind of look out over my whole world that I've unlocked thus far and decide if there's a particular ideal spot that I want to try to construct my lighthouses. But yeah, I suppose I could always tear them down and make changes later if I want to. So I think I will go to the spot that I was envisioning, which is over here to the left. So this spot right here, there is lots of water on the outskirts of this island. So what resources do I need in order to craft a lighthouse? I don't remember off the top of my head because I've rarely built them. Lighthouses are a farming thing, I think? No. Economic? Yes, economic. Lighthouse. I need steel. Okay, and we're currently out of steel. So I'll want to make a number of lighthouses. So we need to go craft up some more steel. And I could make 12 steel, which would be 3 lighthouses. Yeah, that seems pretty great. And so apparently, I think what I've read is lighthouses cause 50% more resources to happen when you're gathering stuff up. And it stacks multiplicatively. So if I had 3 lighthouses near a particular plot of land, and I dug with my shovel, I would get 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5 times as much resources as I would normally get. And that's just with 3 lighthouses. And I think on that particular plot of land that I was just at, we might be able to stick like 8 lighthouses around it. And so you could potentially get insane number of items just from getting some basic resources. And I've never tried to do that to kind of exploit the system. I'm not sure that it's necessarily an exploit because apparently from the research that I was doing, it used to be that lighthouses doubled things, and then in an update they changed it to just being 1.5, which suggests that the developer kind of knew how overpowered it could be and didn't want to remove it from the game entirely, but just wanted to nerf it a little bit by reducing the numbers. But it's still extremely powerful. Okay, I want to bottle a fairy so that I can get another sage scroll, because I would like more experience. And I have 3 animal feed that I just want to get out of my inventory, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this cow very happy and cause him to poop. Alright, but we have some steel already, so let's start constructing the lighthouses. So, lighthouse. If I put a lighthouse right here, boom, it looks like that. And, oh, I need glass as well. Okay, it's a very tall structure. But basically you can see there's kind of a circle area of effect around it that shows its area of influence. And so I just cut down a tree here and got like 9 logs or 5 logs. If I cut down a tree somewhere else, I didn't see how many logs that was. Hold on. Let's cut down a tree somewhere else. That's outside the sphere of influence of the lighthouse. That one was just 4. There's some enemies here that I need to dodge. How about this tree? That was 5. Okay. Well, I guess with just 1 lighthouse, we can't see a whole lot yet. Okay. So in any case, we need glass, I just said. So let's start cooking up tons of glass. And there's my sage scroll, which I'm not sure if it gives a percentage experience based on your current level. It might be the case that sage scrolls are more valuable early in the game than they are late. I'm not actually sure how that works. That's another thing that I should look into on my own time. So it might have been better for me to save the spirit orb, use the sage scroll, and then use the spirit orb later on. Is kind of the fallout. But either way, we're doing fine. Alright, so let's see. In terms of next things up, obviously I'm going to construct another lighthouse. And I'm going to get rid of the skeleton who's killing my cow. He killed the cow. Oh no. Skeleton, why? So I've seen a lot of enemies like killing cows and attacking structures and things. I just heard the market restock. And so I should totally start getting ballistas. I can't remember if I have unlocked them yet. Okay, but here are 2 overlapping lighthouses. So if I just randomly dig, well, I'm unlikely to find anything with this tier of shovel. What is the next tier of shovel, I wonder? Also, I'm going to go ahead and bottle a fairy. Next tier of shovel is the Nomad shovel, which requires steel, and lavender, which we do have some of. Okay, so there's still a number of resources that we're short on. Any chance that the market's selling any of them? Electronics. Those are very nice. We will eventually be able to make them. We're not that far. We're still a little ways off from being able to make them. It's a good price, but it's not a high enough priority right now, and so I'd rather be able to spend the money on other things in the near future. So let's see. Since I just mentioned lavender, any chance that there is some lavender that is spawned up here? There's blue butterflies that also appear as like the bugs of these northern glacier zones. And eventually we'll need to bottle up some of those guys as well. Yeah. Let's see. We're doing a decent job working our way toward the glacial scriptures. We still need more royal clothing. We need more paper because I spent some of the paper on sage scrolls, right. So let's go ahead and get enough paper so that we'd have glacier scriptures. The lavender will easily come with time, especially if we end up purchasing one more land to the north. And then the royal clothing. Yeah, we're not doing too badly in terms of having the resources we need to craft the royal clothing either. Leather might end up actually being the long pole on that front. And so it might actually make sense for me to kill a few cows. More eventually will spawn in order to get the leather that I want. Yeah, things to consider. In any case, I intend to put away the bottled fairy so I don't accidentally use it. Because if you use it as an item in your inventory, it just causes the fairy to escape and you get the experience from the fairy. And the heal, like when we were eating fairies back at the beginning of the game. And at this point, the fairies are more valuable to me bottled than they are as consumables. So I want to make sure I do the right thing with them. So let's see. At this point, I think in terms of money, I do still have a lot of these gems. I do need some of them for making royal clothing. Oops. But let's go ahead and get these down to 30, and let's go ahead and sell these at the market. And that'll help us get more money towards being able to buy more land. So those sell well. I'm up to 2,000 money. Is that enough to buy another land? Yes, I can buy something up here. Although, is that desert or ice? This might be a desert land again. I'd really like to get another ice land. There are a bunch of cheap desert lands, though. And that cost, oh gosh, the ice ones cost so much. Choices, choices. I'm gonna buy this one. Alright, there is some kind of obelisk over there that has a, oh, there's a bad dude who spawned up here. Hello, bad dude who froze me and tried to kill me. At least you drop leather, which is something that I need. And there's more lavender over here, which is something else that I need. So, there is a crazy symbol on this obelisk. It looks kind of like a sword and a moon. And it happens to be nighttime right now. It's just gotten darker. And so if I hit this thing with the sword at nighttime when the moon is shining, da-da-da-da-da-da, it's another chest that I need a key for. So let's go craft another key, because apparently that's all we do today. Give me a key. Key. That sounds like a cheerleading thing for bats. Because that's a noise bats make, right? Key, key. It sounded better in my head, maybe, than it does. Now that I'm saying it aloud. We've got most of the royal clothing that we need. So yeah, and lavender I think is just the only thing that's holding us back at this point. And lavender will spawn up here. I could choose to use my druid scroll if I need to get more lavender. These are some late game things that we don't need to spend money on right now, but it's always good to check the night market. Alright. Right, I started crafting the key, but it didn't finish crafting, and so I haven't picked it up yet, which means I cannot yet open the whatchamacall. There we go. Key is in my inventory. Let's open the whatchamacall, also known as a chest. Quiver! Bows don't consume arrows. Okay, infinite arrows from the bow. So that is another one that kind of like the Thunder Rod, if you get that early and start upgrading your bow, which is a reasonable thing to do, and also unlock the ballistics skill, which causes bows to shoot triple arrows. That is another way that you could potentially get a lot of attack power and mining power pretty early in the game. Speaking of unlocking better bows, the golden bow is the next one, and I have plenty of these resources, so I'm just going to go ahead and start crafting it, since we're talking about bows. And I think I do need some more steel, so let's go ahead and start crafting some of that as well. But yeah, so bows don't consume arrows anymore. And if I upgrade my bow a few times and get the new skill that causes bows to shoot triple arrows, then the bow becomes quite powerful. And furthermore, the golden bow causes coins to spawn each time you shoot an arrow. And if arrows are infinite, it basically means that coins can be infinite. Although it does take some time to actually spend the time to like shoot the bow each time. And it's also kind of tiresome, like use the mouse button in order to fire the bow. Whereas you can just hold down the button to use the thunder rod. You have to like hold down the button briefly to draw back the bow, and then let go of it to fire, and you have to keep doing that over and over and over again. So I find the bow much more tiresome on my fingers to use. But it is nevertheless, especially if you upgrade it early, a good early weapon that can also be used to chop down trees, and once we get the gold bow, gain coins, etc., etc. Basically, I don't want to be down on the bow, because it's a good thing. Alright, the bow will finish crafting in a little bit. My foraging obelisk is worn off, so let's refresh that, so we can continue getting our experience bonus, since we are getting close to the next level up. And yeah, there's plenty of islands that have definitely kind of refreshed themselves in terms of all the resources. So I think one of the fastest ways to get experience is for me just to walk around firing the thunder rod at everything. And occasionally dodging skeletons who are going to be firing arrows at me. Or not dodging them, taking the arrows, almost dying, and then realizing I need to eat some cooked fish. Also a possible what could happen outcome. Alright, but we're very close to the next level up. And then I'm going to upgrade ballistas so that we can start defending our islands automatically, rather than me having to run around and kill every skeleton who starts attacking things. And we'll get better bows. Hey, here's one of these guys. So, these guys who fire lasers at you in the desert drop steel, if I recall correctly, when killed. So let's kill this guy. Kablam! Yeah, he dropped a bunch of steel. Hooray! And let's use our water shovel to start digging up some of these spots because they have valuable gems, which I can turn into money if nothing else. Alright, we're extremely close to the next level up. I'm leaving lots of different items lying on the ground at different spots. You might have seen, when it becomes daytime, some of the skeletons who spawn at night will go and dive back into the ground, and I think I just saw one of those skeleton going back into the ground animations up here a moment ago. I don't know that I've ever called out that particular mechanic before, but it's definitely more dangerous at nighttime than daytime, at least with respect to skeletons. And there is my golden bow. 4 attack damage. Arrows drop coins on hit. So let's demonstrate. There's a coin. There's a coin. Every time I fire an arrow, I get a coin. I think I just heard the market restock. And none of that is stuff that we particularly need. So we'll continue crafting up resources. So let's see. I'm still short on royal clothing and short on lavender to craft up the next experience book. So let's see if there's any more lavender that spawned up here in the ice biome. Don't see any on this island. And I do see some right here. There's 2 more. So yeah, I have a feeling enough is going to spawn just on the 2 islands that I have by the time we have the rest of the resources ready. Crystals, as you can tell, took a very long time to mine. They're quite durable rocks, but they'll be used in some crafting recipes, so it's good to go ahead and gather some of those up. And is there anything else that I want to make here right now? Hammer is used for repairing buildings. It's not particularly important. The crystal amulet, we mentioned the frozen relic, is pretty rare, and so it's probably unlikely I'm going to get that anytime soon. The skull pickaxe would be a good upgrade at some point. But once again, since I'm using the thunder rod for doing most everything, it's not super important right now. And I still have 37 cooked fish on the bar, so I'm not too worried about running out of healing resources. And at some point, did I put together a spirit forge? I think I didn't have the steel for it. So that's another crafting station that I have the ability to make, but just haven't put together the resources to actually make it. So that should definitely be on my list. Oops! I missed! I missed again! I almost died to a skeleton once more. Alright, but I should definitely clear this island because we're going to be getting bonus resources due to the lighthouses. And eventually, if I put down some more lighthouses, this island might become insanely wealthy. It's my understanding. Hey, it's level 34. Okay, because I've been talking about it, let's unlock ballistics. Ballistas and bows shoot triple arrows. So I can demonstrate the bow right off. Here's what it looks like to use the bow. You can see, you just get a spread of 3 arrows. If you aim very close to something, it's possible that all 3 arrows can hit the same something. Otherwise, they can spread out. And so it can mean that you can mine things really fast because all 3 arrows might hit the target of like a tree or whatever it is, you know, this piece of coal that I'm trying to mine. And so we can do it in 1 shot, whereas normally it might take 3 shots. And I'm gaining gold every time I fire it. And so that's something else that's very nice about the upgraded gold bow with ballistics. The other thing is ballistas. So if I go to building a ballista, it takes obsidian. I bought some obsidian before, but I still don't have enough obsidian to actually make the particular thing, which is a shame. And obsidian only spawns naturally, I believe, on the southernmost islands, which we haven't unlocked yet. So I think we won't be able to witness those right now. Here is the night guy. Oh, he's selling spirit orb. I want it. I will sell some gems. I think that'll be enough. Zing, zing. Buy a spirit orb. And I think I will use it for a level up again, because there still are more skills that I want. In particular, since we've unlocked the lighthouses, logistics. Lighthouses have double area of effect. Mining rods as well, we'll eventually see. Power plants and ballistas. So I'm going to unlock this. And now if we go take a look at our lighthouses on the map, we'll notice that these red circles that are just kind of like the faint outlines are much, much larger. And so these lighthouses now cover this entire island, which means, for example, if I were to... Do I want to do it now? Can I build one more lighthouse first? I think I can. Economic. Lighthouse. Yeah, I can. Suppose I put a lighthouse right here. So now... I don't see its particular sphere of influence for whatever reason. I wonder why that is. I see these 2 ones. I don't see this one. Do I need to affect the world somehow up here? I'm not sure. Oh, now it's affecting it. Okay, so it might just take a moment to update. So now if I use a druid scroll here, and then chop down all the trees in here, I think I'm going to get an insane amount of resources. Because, well, I guess, assuming that I'm correct that it's 1.5 times, 1.5, 2.25, that'd be like 3 point something. I guess I'll get like 3 times as many resources from this island as I normally would, which is not insane just yet. But one can imagine that if I get a few more lighthouses in this vicinity, then we can have an island or 2 here that will just spawn an insane amount of resources, and it'll be amazing. Alright. Let's see. Otherwise, royal clothing and lavender are still things on my list in order to upgrade to the next book for faster experience. So after finishing out this island, we'll go back to the north and see if we have lavender, but along the way we'll stop by our crafting stations. And we will try to get the rest of the royal clothing going, because I think I have the rest of the resources that I need for that. Hello, skeleton. Goodbye, skeleton. Oh, look at these guys. Alright. And the next island I buy, I think will be to the south so that I can get some obsidian so that I can start making some ballistas. Okay, currently I don't have the leather for royal clothing, so we'll craft some leather next. That skeleton just went into the ground once again. And now let's see if there's any more lavender that spawned anywhere up here. Oh, lavender, oh, lavender. I don't see any, so I'm going to take the time to try to clear out the island so that there's more empty spaces, which give more possibilities for lavender to spawn here in the future. And I might not clear out every last little thing, but I'll definitely try to kill the small objects that go down quickly, like the trees, or like crystals that I've already half beaten down. And eventually some more lavender will spawn there. While waiting for the lavender to spawn, I've just been farming up other resources, and it occurs to me that I haven't tried creating fish traps in any of the new biomes. The ones over here with the lighthouses would work great. And so let's go ahead and craft a couple of fish traps. I'll go ahead and put 3 of them over here, and hopefully we'll get more resources from them, including special resources that we can only fish out of this particular biome. And then I can eventually do the same kind of thing over in the desert biome as well, for example. So royal clothing, I will be able to make enough of it. So lavender is currently the only thing that we are lacking. Alright, the skeleton's attacking the market again. Cut it out, guy. So let's go check on the lavender and see if that's ready. Oh, lavender, oh, lavender. You haven't grown on the island yet. Guess what I see? It's lavender! And it didn't take that much longer. Hooray! Alright, lavender, get in my inventory. Da-da-da-da-da-da! Oh, I'm only up to 14 out of 15. Darn, I still need more. I forgot, if you talk to a sheep, you can get fiber. I don't think I've ever demonstrated that on camera before. Alright, still waiting for one more lavender. And I believe we have enough royal clothing. Alright, with these fish traps, I just want to see if perhaps we get... Okay, I got 3 seaweed out of there. Like 4 sand out of there, I think. And 4 sand out of there. So it does seem like those fish traps are getting a bonus compared to their non-lighthoused brethren over here. I got 2 fishes. 2 fishes, yeah, so it seems like we're getting 3 or 4 things over there and typically 2 things over here. So I think we do have confirmation that the lighthouse bonus is stacking. So that makes me happy. It occurs to me that the Forager obelisk expired at some point, and I forgot to refresh it. And I want to get as much experience as I can, so let us do so. Hey, have 100 poop in your inventory. At the end of the previous episode, I was talking about the importance of poop and how we could look forward to more of it. And now, toward the end of this episode, we get exactly that. So, good job. Hooray for poop. I'm exhausted. You should have said I'm pooped. That would have been kind of taking the cake there at the end. Hey, here's some free steel. Kablam! Look at all that steel. That's great. In fact, with all that steel, I might be able to make another lighthouse. Which I'm very tempted to do. Alright, always trying to keep my furnaces working, though. Be doing something. Can I construct another lighthouse? Let's see. So those are up at the top of this, so presumably I could put a lighthouse... Oh, I don't have enough glass. Well, good news. I just farmed some more sand out of a fish trap. So I should be able to make a bit more glass. So eventually I'll make another lighthouse. Alright, one more cutaway until the lavender arrives. Actually, it just occurred to me, since I just talked about how, with the large area of effect, the lighthouses were covering this top island, which has a lot of space, this would be a great place to construct a quarry. And I believe I have the ability to make quarries at this point. It would be good, ideally, I think, to put it on some non-productive part of the land, like over here. But I think that's a farming thing. Quarry. Yes, automatically spawns rocks and minerals and things. Except for I have to clear up a little bit more land here. Actually, I think I can do this. I think I could build bridges here and put the quarry here. Except I'm standing on that spot, aren't I? The game doesn't allow you to build structures where the player is standing. So I need to make sure I get out of the way. There we go. So if I put a quarry here, watch what happens in a moment. Ta-da! It fills this entire area with all kinds of resources. And, oh yeah, I can tell I'm getting a lot of extra bonus resources as a result of the lighthouses here. Okay. Oh, marksman, shoot 100 arrows. Neat. So I'm going to use my thunder rod to clear things out. And then when my thunder rod is recharging, I'm going to switch to the bow and arrow, which, since it's a golden bow, is going to be creating some coins as I shoot arrows. So yeah, we're going to start making money and tons of resources on this island now. That is super great. And by the time I'm able to escape this island by breaking all these things, we'll probably have some lavender as well. Well, it occurs to me, since it's taking so long to get this lavender, that what I could do is potentially buy some more land up north. So let's cash out with my banks. I also bought a little bit of stuff at the market recently. And see if I can buy another land up here. Yeah, this should be another icy land. And so let's see what we've got over here. This appears to be frozen solid. And I don't have any type of fire source. This electricity seems to do nothing to it. So I think we're going to have to come back here at some point in the future with some ability to melt this, because it does look like a frozen chest. But in any case, I do have some more space now for lavender to potentially spawn. So I will continue to be hopeful for that. I should mention, by the way, that on the island with the quarry, if it is the case that I successfully mine all the resources on the island, which looks like it's about to happen over here, it is the case that the quarry will then immediately go and kind of restock the island with new resources. Oh, obsidian, 150 out of 4. Apparently there was obsidian on this island when I mined it out of the quarry, so now we can actually make some ballistas. So let's go ahead and show that off. Let's go ahead and put one right here, for example. My player is standing in that spot. And actually, I prefer to put it not on all tiles that could grow things. So ballista, if I put a ballista right here, then let's watch what happens if there's a skeleton nearby. So let's see if I can spawn a skeleton. Yeah, you see the ballista firing at him and killing him automatically. And so if I put a few of these ballistas up near where skeletons are most likely to spawn, or near like all of my crafting materials, where I want to make sure that we are well defended from monster attacks, such as this skeleton right here. Actually, why bother killing him? I can just have a ballista do it for me. Actually, I want to put the ballista on some bridges once again, and that'll take a little bit of time. So I'll go ahead and kill the skeleton manually. But then if I go and put a ballista right here, it'll also fire at the slime, I think. Yeah, there goes the slime. Hooray! So I'll start building a few of those around the base in order to defend our various structures and whatnot. All right, lavender, have you appeared yet? You're definitely overdue. There's some lavender. Hooray! We can finally construct the next book. So I will get the Glacial Scriptures crafting. XP increased by 60%. I think the previous one was 45%. So that's a moderate increase. And then we should have a goal for next time. What should that goal be? Is a question you might ask. I guess there's always the next book, which we'll find out what it is in a moment. Is there anything else that's super important? Ah, the quarry has restocked the island up here. So you can see once again, this island is completely full of resources. So I'll be able to get a whole lot more. And I guess obsidian, yeah, I guess these dark colored rocks are the ones that give obsidian. And so I guess it does fill it with all the resources, not just the ones from islands that we've already seen, but also the islands down to the south that we haven't seen yet, which are the ones that give obsidian. I don't think I realized before that quarries actually did that. So that's a way to use quarries to kind of like get ahead on resources earlier in the game. And yeah, I'm not sure what our goal is going to be for next time. So I'll have to think about that off camera. 140, wow. 142 gold. Yeah, clearing off that island earned me a ton of resources. So we'll be able to sell them for money as well. And so it'll be a whole lot easier to buy things. Yeah, a whole lot of stuff is about to get moving more swiftly, I would say. I'm going to go ahead and spend money on this fiber just because that's valuable to have. Okay, but we'll go ahead and call it here for today. I'm going to say I hope, as always, that you all are having a great day. And next time I'll come up with the next goal. Actually, we'll go ahead and collect the this book before we go for the day, because I want to show it on camera, because it's happy to get the little ditty when you get a big upgrade like this. Here we go. Glacial Scriptures. Da, 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 da. Have a great day, everybody. See you again soon.